Rajasthan, land of kings. One of the most unique and colourful provinces in northern India. Here, exotic fantasy turns to reality. Our journey begins in Jaipur, the Pink City, where the buildings consist of the reddish stone of the surrounding landscape. Much to the surprise of tourists, the local people continue to use the elephant as a means of transport in this splendid trading town. However, modern traffic with its cars, tuk-tuk taxis and countless bicycles has also found its way into this fairy-tale-like city. Jaipur is closely associated with the name of just one king, Maharaja Jai Singh II, who was crowned when only 12 years of age. The city palace covers more than 5 square kilometers of the old town. The 7-story building is still inhabited by the royal family. It is as though time has stood still. The architecture of both the Rajputs and the Mughals is united in all its splendor. The main landmark of the city, the Palace of the Winds, is solely a facade with vented bay windows from where the women could observe the street unseen. Jantar Mantar is an observatory that the monarch had built next to his palace. Today it still contains various scientific instruments. A fascinating place with precise but surreal-looking objects for the measurement of solar time and the trajectory of the stars, designed by Jai Singh. On the journey into the surrounding mountain landscape close to the city, an artificial lake suddenly appears, in the center of which is the beautiful Jal Mahal Castle. Amid the arid, rocky landscape is the original residence of the Rajput clan, the amber fort that is strategically situated within rock walls. Man Singh resided here as a contemporary of the Mughal Emperor Akbar, long before his successor founded Jaipur. The castle complex has 4 large inner courtyards that are located on 4 levels. The influential principality was ruled from this splendid fortress for more than 6 centuries, a place of power and beauty. The next courtyard contained a garden with water and much vegetation. In the surrounding rooms lived the wives of the Mughal monarch. But a special feature of the palace is a pavilion that was built above a garden and whose interior walls are decorated with colourful glass. This is where the Maharaja lived with his favourite wives, with adjoining sleeping areas and official rooms, and natural ventilation and a spectacular view. Shekhawati is the name of an area that lies along a former caravan route. In the 19th century, Sikar was one of the most prosperous trading posts in the region, but little remains of those colourful times. The prosperity of the former businessmen who traded goods between Lahore and Delhi is no longer apparent. "30 kilometers to the north is Laksha Mangar, that was founded by Lakshman Singh, the Raja of Sikar. He also was keen to exploit the flourishing caravan trade. A palace, temple, and numerous splendid buildings indicate the former wealth of this region. In this arid yet densely inhabited region, several small principalities gradually developed, each of which was dependent upon Jaipur. Fatehpur is located on a trading route further north and was built in the 15th century. Today, nothing remains of the warlike incidents that once took place here. The British rule of India that began at the onset of the 19th century promoted peaceful trade and brought great wealth to several families. This created the great trading houses of Shekhawati, the Havelis, or the isolated. They were similar to the Persian caravanserai. A characteristic large inner courtyard is surrounded by a 2-story dwelling. It served as a storage room and stable. Its occupants lived above. In front of the city gates is the desert. Once a British officer described his first view of Ramgarh with these enthusiastic words: "The first glance of the city beyond the sand dunes transforms all the fantasy of the 1001 Nights into reality. A unique scene." Since that time, many years have passed. But if that same colonial officer were to visit this desert village today, he would see that little has changed. Its unique charm is truly captivating. The small town of Churu is flanked on both its south and west sides by sand dunes. It's believed that it was founded in 1563 by the Jats. It subsequently became important as the supplier of caravans for the Poddar family that brought this village a long period of prosperity. Various fine Havelis indicate the power and wealth of this region's traders. Among them is a building that contains more than 1,000 windows. Here, in this oasis-like village, both man and beast could be cared for prior to their long journey through the endless Tat Desert. 12 kilometers southeast of Churu is the village of Bisar that was founded by Keshri Singh in 1746 as a small fortified town. When his grandson, Shio, eventually came to power, he attempted to increase his wealth by imposing severe taxes on the population. Thus, the traders soon abandoned the town. Shio became the leader of an infamous band of robbers that were later defeated by the British. After this, the traders returned. The origins of the city of Junjunu, that was named after a Jat monarch, are unknown. However, it has an historic past. The centre of the city is decorated by several Havelis that contain a variety of wall paintings. Though somewhat dilapidated, the palace still has an air of elegance. A ramp leads in a zigzag to various floors. In this way, the monarch was able to ride on his horse up to the roof with ease. Due to its many Havelis, Nawalgarh was the most profitable destination in the Shekhawati. More than 100 traders settled here. Ornate decorations on the external and interior walls, as well as those on the precious gates, indicate the artistic flair and wealth of those prosperous times. The Balakila Fort in the heart of the city is situated next to a crowded marketplace, but the building is not accessible as it is now in private ownership. The town was protected by a fortified wall and provided a safe haven for its traders and a good income for its monarch. The sleepy desert town of Mandawa captures the unique charm of this extraordinary region like no other. Numerous magnificently decorated Havelis flank the tangled lanes of the old town. India's flair and diversity is very much alive here. Due to the construction of a fort here in 1756 by monarch Nawal Singh, this then unimportant desert village was transformed into a fortified town. Today, it contains the Palace Hotel. Ajmer, India's most important pilgrimage destination for those of the Muslim faith, is encircled by bare mountains in a high valley on the banks of an artificial lake. Several historic buildings, such as the large gate of Sultan Iltutmish of Delhi, were built in honor of the Persian saint Khwaja Chishti, who settled in Ajmer and was later buried here. 14 kilometers away is an important Hindu pilgrimage destination, Pushkar, a place deeply rooted in Indian mythology. The village consists of whitewashed houses and temples, located around a lake, the sacred Pushkar Lake. Legend has it that the creator of the universe, Brahma, was once in search of a suitable place of sacrifice when a flower fell from his hand. At the spot where the flower fell onto the ground, a spring opened up and created a lake, a veritable oasis in the desert. The lake is now regarded as sacred, surrounded by a white city, amid a stony landscape, a place of holy men. Those who travel here can enjoy the tranquility of sunset on the banks of the lake. Jodhpur, the Blue City. In bright sunlight, its sandstone buildings shine out in intense blue. On a rock plateau above the city is a large and impregnable fortress with 36-meter-high walls, the Maranga Fort. Most of the well-preserved palaces and courtyards of the huge mountain castle originated in the 17th century, although Rajodha founded the city in 1459. The Marwar monarchs enjoyed the same status as the Maharajas and did their utmost to stand up to the Mughal emperors of Agra and Delhi. The power and splendor of those times is highlighted by these remarkable sedan chairs. It was a time of great monarchs on the edge of the Thar Desert. Ever-shifting alliances were typical of that period, and the exquisite furnishings indicate the vast wealth of the Rajput monarchs. Most of the palace structure consists of sandstone. The complex has accumulated various inner courtyards, terraces and buildings, the result of many centuries of construction and planning. Close to the palace is this region's royal graveyard, Jaswantara. The shining white walls of this marble pavilion are more like a palace than a tomb. Here lies Maharaja Jaswant Singh, who died in 1895. This is also the final resting place of each of Jodhpur's monarchs. The white temples of Ranakpur are the sanctuaries of the Jains, situated in a picturesque valley to the west of the Aravalli Mountains, north of Udaipur. As the slaughter of animals is not permitted by the Jains, belts and any other animal-related items must be discarded prior to entering the temples. At around the same time Buddhism was introduced to this area, Jainism also arrived. The religion of the country's great hero, Mahavira. A forest of stone columns supports the domes that are decorated with complex geometrical patterns and godlike images. Between the columns is a glimpse of the sky, a feature that gives the sanctuary a unique atmosphere. The temples were built around 1500 AD and are one of the finest examples of Indian architecture and stonemasonry. It took 60 years for this, one of the most beautiful temple complexes in Rajasthan, to be completed. A place of silence and calm. Set along an artificial lake and surrounded by picturesque mountains, Udaipur is one of the most beautiful cities in the Indian province of Rajasthan. But the reason for the establishment of this city had tragic consequences. It was here that Uday Singh retreated when his Chittagong fortress was captured by the Mughal Emperor Akbar. The old town is dominated by a huge city palace that was 300 years in construction and incorporates a variety of architecture. The rooms contain mirrors, glassware, and magnificent frescoes that are typical of the majority of Rajput palaces. Next to the city palace, a steep stairway leads up to the Jagdish temple, a Vishnu sanctuary, the entrance of which is flanked by 2 elephants. The stonemasonry on the walls is very impressive, as are the Garudas that pull the wagon of Vishnu, the master of the world. The white marble monuments of the Miwa monarchs outside the gates of Udaipur are full of colourful and dramatic history. The Princess Palace, with its well-laid-out parks and life-size stone elephants, is also worth a visit. Close to the city is the Shilpgram Open-Air Museum. It contains the original buildings of various regions, still inhabited by several families. Those who live here are delighted to provide an insight into their daily routine and culture. The princely summer residence amid the artificial Pichola Lake has been transformed into the world-famous Lake Palace Hotel that once served as the luxurious backdrop for a James Bond film. Rajasthan, the land of the Maharajas in all its splendor, a living fairy tale beneath the desert sky.